be crushed on site is quite wild as we get ready to reload into map.
Map number 1 is going to be CTF on Chalet. It's something that we've seen quite a lot of as a map 1 pick throughout this tournament. We've talked about how a lot of teams have their majority of their reps when it comes to game type, when it comes to map here on Chalet and CTF. So the opening strat is something we are always keen to keep an eye on. We've seen flags be capped within 60 seconds, it feels like.
Yeah, even I remember our first flag of the game that you and I saw on the main stage. That was the Falcons flag. Just in case you missed it yesterday, everyone watching at home and in the arena, that was a flag cap that went in within 53 seconds of gameplay. And then on the other side of that, when we saw the Falcons XX series, we just saw draw after stalemate after 0-0. So it's fascinating to watch the differences between these teams, the differences in play styles. If you can set an infiltrator in behind enemy lines on a flank route, even though it's not easy with this lane-based map, you can sneak in, you can get the sneaky flag pulls, and you can bring it back home. We'll have to see if either team is going to be looking for that or maybe just looking for a little bit of mid-map control here.
Well, here we go then, everybody. You can see we are moments away from getting this map underway. And just to make it a little bit more spicy for you, KS7 and Fnatic, just a reminder that if you do stay in the tournament, you're more than likely to double your money as you go through round by round. So if that wasn't enough of a motivator for you, as well as the fact that you want to be the team, of course, who stays here in Riyadh competing over the next couple of days, then certainly you're in the wrong place. But for now, we're going to watch this opening break as we jump on with Kiri.
As you say, tunnel pusher coming in. You really don't want to be the team. You've traveled quite far here, right? For a lot of these teams, KS7 maybe a little bit nearer for them. However, if you think about the distances these teams have traveled, opening damage coming in here is a nice little push coming in. It's actually going to be several players on Fnatic falling. It's a good KS7 push for the open.
Certainly is. You might be in a position actually to get this flag moving as well. However, you've got to deal with this man in the window right now and deal with them. They can't quite tell, but did manage to get a touch on that flag. And has he bought enough time? It looks like they might have just about done so. Fnatic will send that flag back home, and it's all thanks to the man on your screen right now. A beautiful shot with that sniper rifle to cut down that flag runner.
Pretty bold play from KS7 off the opening, right? I think a lot of people would have expected Fnatic to be the ones with the early aggression and the early lead. However, look at this from Fnatic. All stack, 3-stacker on the back rock. Rarely do you see this. They are all inning this push here.
Bubble down as well. If they get this kill inside of the bubble, then you get the feeling they're going to get that flag moving as well. Except he's already away with it, and Sizz lucky. Well, he's going to be dropped off here so that he's got that speed boost. He's going to be able to move it even quicker. Fnatic managed to pick up one in the kill feed as well. That's an elimination that's going to make things a little bit easier, but elsewhere you can see there is a flag away from their base. So this is not going to be a simple job. We're now going to see the fight duel for both of the flag carriers inside of that bubble. Fnatic will win it, and even though they can take it down to the line, the flag will go home first.
Very nice job there from Sizz. It was not easy, right? As you said, a momentary flag standoff with both flags being away there. Agers needed to win that battle. He does. They also win it on the second bubble. Not only a bubble on the pull, but they win it on the second bubble to bring that one back. Sizz gets taken down right at the stand, but not before the flag goes in. In about 2 minutes of play, Fnatic already leading 1-0.
Alba can't quite connect as yet with that sniper rifle. We know how a lot of responsibility is on those marksman players on this linear map here. Just to hit those bodies, hit those heads, it just completely changes the context of where that push is going to have success. Except trying to, again, once again, just create a little bit of an opening, but it's all about the 50-yard line right now. Fnatic have a couple of players respawning, having been taken down, and Except he's going to join them as well. He is the other side of things right now, inside of the tunnel. He has been spotted out here by KS7 and will be shut down. So important to do that, to make sure that flanker just goes accounted for.
Yeah, really nice job there from Cody and team, just to make sure they get back, take down Agers, and shut down that push, and now have a little bit of moment to reset. Salva picks up another one, not easy. As we take now a look at here, Kiri coming down with a slow tunnel push for the side of KS7. Still 2:23 left on the clock.
Interesting to see KS7, not the first time they tried this strategy, just wrapping through tunnel, playing it a little bit slow, almost ratty, not giving away their position and looking to wrap through the house to then get that flag moving. It's a very smart one, and certainly one that has brought success for a few teams so far, and they're going to have to be very effective as they do try and move it in at the moment, except in a big 1v1 here, and will get taken down, and that might open things up here for KS7 to get that flag moving.
Koji with a very nice job there once again. They're starting to win their 1v1s and even start to stack very nicely, but one thing you might have noticed every time we go to Fnatic's POV, they are just stacking in the same exact part. We saw it on White Truck when they push front. When they push back rock, we've never seen that before. 3 players stacked in the back rock and another player back base. We'll have to see if Fnatic kind of just really grouping up buddy system continues to pay off right now. Once again, you see it here on your screen as well. Now is he just working in the middle as well and starting to make a rock push here. And now over to Cal.
That was a beautiful shot. Will take down Sizz lucky. That's going to keep the pressure up on the Fnatic flag. And now he's going to have to think about a flag pull himself. And with Fnatic losing a couple of players, he might be able to sneak this one away. What's happening elsewhere is the question. Fnatic all coming off the respawn here, and this might be an opportunity. for KS7 to tie this game up. He's all the way back to the cave. If he can avoid these grenades and the lineups, then this is going to be the opportunity to tie things up. He's there. It's going home.
Wow.
It's going to be tied up at 1-1.
Also, how about in the feed, right? Cody picking up another 2. Also, I love the route he took, never taking height. You know, he might have gotten clipped by a bit. Instead, just kind of staying low, dodging, not taking any height as he comes back. And that flag will go in. And what timing? 51 seconds left on the clock. And in round number 1, we are tied 1-1 between these two.
And we're going to see a very similar strategy that we've seen a number of times being enjoyed here by, or should I say employed and potentially enjoyed.
Maybe enjoyed.
Like KS7, they're trying to sneak through the tunnel, but also Sizlucky is doing exactly the same thing on the other side. And Sizlucky is going to be a player to watch here because he could get that flagpole as the pressure is on the Fnatic side. So Sizlucky is going to grab this, and even though there is pressure on his own flag, if his teammates can pick up these kills and clear the way home for him, he's already half of the way home, and they're doing exactly that. This could be an opportunity for Fnatic to go up 2-1.
I think it's even 3 that will take it down there. This should be it. With 11 seconds left and that flag on the doorstep, yes, they will be able to bring that one in. More kills on the feed as well, as they'll stack up even more limbs. And as the clock ticks down, you're here with 3 seconds left. Fnatic will go into round number 2 with a nice 1 flag lead of a very, very nice late round composure.
And what did we talk about, right? We talked about you got to account for the guy who is unaccounted for. And they did not on that occasion. The first time we saw KS7 turn around, just check their back for a few seconds, knowing that there was 3 players who had been eliminated, but not all 4.
Yep.
From that, they managed to push up the map, and they had full control on what was happening in front of them. That time, Sizlucky overextends through the tunnel, goes unaccounted for, they lose the team fight on the Fnatic side, and then it's just a clean run home. That is how important it is to track numbers, track player names, and make sure everybody on the map is accounted for.
Exactly what I was going to say. Shift put it really well yesterday. As soon as he was watching DreamHack gameplay, he said, you know, especially coming from a Call of Duty background, he's like, I don't know if all these teams are counting numbers the way that they need to, making sure that they know exactly how many players are alive. Also, big shout out to Sizz, because you saw him on the flagpole timing. He made sure that a kill came from Accept in the feed, and only then did he pull. It was really nice to make sure they had an advantage first. Speaking of advantage, though, it's going to be Cal and the rest of the team, eliminating 2 players here on Fnatic. They're looking for Accept in the back of the base as well. Oh my goodness. Accept shuts down what was about to be a pretty heavy KS7 advantage, and just like that, Fnatic walks out of their own base.
You're looking at that situation from the KS7 side of things, you're like, oh, this is all good, and then you just get your head ripped off. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you just have to applaud the player that you're going up against for making a play like that. However, you can see KS7 are trying to keep some pressure up here. Except he's going to be taken down, or have his shields, ripped away from him. Health is going to regen as they're just holding this angle right now to see if they can pick up that limb, and it's aggressive. It's a little bit of an overextension, to go for that kill and manage to get the limb alongside almost the second one as well. But I'll tell you what, Salva, everyone's stepping up at the moment when they have this sniper rifle in their hand. The marksmen are starting to take over.
Salva on that marksman roll looking good. Speaking of, it's
ankle shot.
Battle here for the Accept. Just going to try to hold down the tunnel. Bubble goes down.
Ankle shot, body shot. Cleanups come in from Sizz and Nounzy as well. So now you're going to see Accept reposition here and try and flood with the rest of his teammates. He's going to have an angle to play with here, but can't even land a bullet before his teammates clean out this side. So Fnatic looking pretty comfortable.
Yeah, looking good. Adrian's going to try to hold mid-map here. As you can see, he's going to run to a little bit of company right along that mid-map platform. And Accept playing this nice and slow. We'll see now with 3:05 left in the match, and Fnatic still leading 2-1. Let's get into a Fnatic listening.
You need to go
Watching rocks, yeah, I have it.
Yo, I can go fight him. He's whited. First guy. 80. He's with all these though.
Two rocks pushing.
Yeah, I spawned now. I'm ready.
180, I'm bubbling.
Okay,
I'm just stalling.
I killed him, tunnel.
Yeah,
I'm running back.
Well, both 1 HP.
Are they both alive? Okay.
Yeah.
Dead one.
Nice, I'm gonna go
You
push
guys
him.
good?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm just running at him.
Running back.
I'm fighting
umbrella.
left.
Okay, I'm fighting right.
Crack.
Dead.
Nice.
Alright, I'm
Good
setting
job.
umbrella. We just need to defend. I'm 1 HP. I sort of want to die.
Just play full
Can someone
defensive.
fight with me? Tunnel.
Yeah, I can. I
Can you
took
just,
the
like-
dynamite up. I don't know where they are.
I want AFK rocks.
I'm sitting mid. I'll hold mid.
Crouching up tunnel. I just
One's
want
window, one's
to.
window.
I'm with you. I don't see them.
I think there's 2 window. No, one.
One,
Guys,
I'm
just-
dead at tunnel. Just
Yeah,
chill. It's
yeah,
running
I'm
down. It's running down. Two down
Two
tunnel.
on me, yeah,
One's
two.
one's crouching our connector. One's down
120.
tunnel.
Dead one.
Nice.
Dead both.
Nice, last 2 on me.
Alright, one was window. No, one was window.
No, they're
No,
last 2
the
on me.
guy here. They're both.
180.
I clean it.
Crack them both, crack them both.
He ran back.
He's
I'm pushing
full
up.
box.
I'm pushing up.
I'm just
Yeah,
holding,
push
I'm holding
him.
connector right
I
now.
killed him.
One cat, sniper. So
Yeah.
jump out of HP. Jump out of HP. He's close up.
I'm on
Yeah.
nudge. I'm on
On
nudge.
me. Dead.
I'm
Killed
on
him.
nudge. And
shooting.
2v4.
Yeah.
Just
Just
run it
down
down.
right hand. Yeah, bubble.
Fnatic's communication gives a great insight into how they're trying to approach things here, but most importantly, for Fnatic. And speaking of approaches, they have all of KS7 trapped in the back of the base right now. They want to get that flag moving.
Yeah, look at this stack there. Salva hits a nice body shot, and there's also a lot of damage comes in as well. Bubble is down, but I think, yes, Salva and Kiri are going to together wipe. It's really good defensive stand coming out of KS7. Oh, and also good damage here coming up. That's going to be actually 3 elims in a row. Here comes the KS7 push with 123 left.
Yeah, they need to make something happen here, and taking out Accept is a good first step to making their way forward. He hit some delicious-looking shots on the marksman in and around the tunnel to give Fnatic that chance to move forward. But now, speaking of move forward, he's going to have to hit even more, and he does!
Again.
Except will be taken down, and the trade starts to come in. Can KS7 win these fights in the back of the base to get that flag moving?
Big from Nounsy. Look at how Nounsy combines with Sizz there. A double elim in the feed for them, and it just feels like each time when you think I'm now on both sides, someone is going to pull. Someone pulls something out. Beautiful stuff there from Nounsy and Sizz, combining on the scoreboard to make sure they get the elims they needed. Kiri, though, working together here. 2 elims in the feed for him as well as Cows. They're going to try to make this push. 41 seconds left. It has to happen soon for KS7.
I mean, they've got the opportunity here, right? They've got the ground. However, you can see the eliminations are only going one way, and by just baiting and waiting, there should be help arriving. Fnatic just playing defense, and they've earned the right to do so with this 2-1 lead.
Sizz now, like you said, just going to hold this down, just going to play these angles in 3P. Salva going to try to make a poke towards mid, but not going to be easy with the window kind of holding everything is. Look at the time on the clock. 15, now 13 seconds left. No pull. That means this will be a Fnatic game #1 win by a narrow single flag to close it out.
On single flag, and you look back to that flag, right? You look back to that moment, and it's a breakdown in communication, perhaps, which cost KS7 in that game, and unfortunately hands them their first loss in this series. But Fnatic is the story here, as they will be up 1-0.
Really nice from Fnatic, and you know what? I'm even more impressed by the fact that we got to hear that listening, because I think a lot of people, maybe even ourselves included, might have watched that and said, ooh, Fnatic, they eke this out. They win this by 1 flag. I actually would say that we learned so much from that listening in terms of composure, the way that they're approaching this, the small talk that they're using in terms of always saying where they're going, not just calling out players like you might hear sometimes in some chaotic kind of more up-and-coming players. Instead, those were veteran comms that were coming in from Fnatic players saying things like, I'm going tunnel, I'm pushing mid, I'm holding here, I'm bubbling to delay, right? Things like that, where you're just hearing really good what we call small talk within the team. Actually tells me that was a pretty comfortable 2-1 win.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It looked like they were in control the majority of the time, and the communication certainly would give an indication that that was how they felt as well. It didn't sound particularly flustered. Like you're saying, the small talk is there, and little things that jumped out to me is like, okay, we've got eliminations on this side, bubble forward, kill that guy. That's what you hear, right? They want and realize that they have an advantage in that situation and want to make the most of it. I will say there was a few opportunities towards the end of that second round where you felt like KS7 had just got into a position with some numbers on their side to get that flag pulling, but you can also see why it feels like the weaker side, because the respawn is extremely close with good lines of sight on that flag. Fnatic can defend off the back of that.
Yeah, absolutely. How about also Accept, right? How many times do we see Accept in the back of the base?
This shot? Oh.
On the, also, yeah, this 2P's. Also, we were in the listening. Accept didn't even react. It's like both down.
Another day at work.
Another day at work, indeed. Really impressed with the defense that we saw from Accept twice. We saw him just wrapping around corners. There's another one. That's another one where he 1v2s there. And this is what I was talking about. Nounsy twice in the feed with Sizz. They pick up each of the elims that they needed. Really, really good late game control from them.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff from Fnatic. They'll be up by 1-0 now as we turn our attention away from capture the flag over to a little bit of Hardpoint. Now, Hardpoint was one of my favorite game modes to watch yesterday. I felt like we had so many games that went right down to the wire. We had back and forth, and I feel like this is going to be something similar, especially if you look at the scores from that first game here. There isn't a huge margin, it feels like, between these two teams. So when it comes to Hardpoint, it really is anyone's game.
It really is, and I think a lot of people would have thought that that flag would have been a little bit further apart in terms of the scoreline. I think Fnatic winning that game 2-1, it's a comfortable win in the end in terms of how they played it, but it's certainly not a comfortable win in terms of the actual margin. I couldn't agree more. Excited to see what both these two do, especially if we look at the play style within that CTF. As we said, it was constantly pushing in 3 or 4 man pushes and 1 player holding the base, waiting for help and doing it well. In this, I think you're just going to see Fnatic maybe employing the same exact strategy. I'm curious how heavily they force stack, because in terms of the actual composition of the team, they were standing so close together and always just rolling as a squad, which when you're playing game types like this, CTF, Hardpoint, Keeper, if you're stacking like that and you're playing fast, you can really start to steamroll. And if you bring that to Hardpoint, we could see that succeed here once again.
Moving the over to Panther now as we leave Chalet behind for a few moments. And I have to say, this first hard point, if you win that initial battle that goes in and around it, it certainly is one that you can rock up 30, 40 points almost without a challenge. Just having that little bit of a height advantage, you can play the back of that first hard point. So the opening strat always, as we say, is important, but this opening battle just feels a little bit more so because of what points can be on the line.
It really does. Let's see here. Who's going to get onto height first? Who's going to get this first hold on this hard point? As we know, it can be punishing if you are able to get 3-4 limbs here off of the opening. You can see 30, 40 seconds already on the board. Let's see who the first limbs go. Fnatic falling twice. Kiri in the feed with 2 already.
Always good to get those little bit of momentum going on your side after a tough loss in that game number 1. And you can see that's exactly what looks like to be happening here for KS7. They push out that final elimination as well. And that's a fantastic start from them. 3 eliminations back-to-back, almost 2 squad wipes back-to-back as well. And that's why you see them sat inside of this hard point.
And now Fnatic's going to have to come up to height, except going to try to get in right away. He does have teammates that are flying in as well across the map. Not going to be easy once again. It's still Fnatic on the receiving end of the elims in the feed. That's 3 in a row again, 4 in a row again. It's clean wipes from KS7. And what did we say? If you pull this off, you get big points on the board. They're already at 33.
20 seconds until that new hard point as well, so it will be the majority of this time, you would imagine, going over to the side of KS7. However, Fnatic feel like they've got time to maybe push this out and force the Swans back even further. That will be a clean wipe outside of 1, as Fnatic will pick up the eliminations, and now we're going to see them rotate towards that second hard point.
Kiri already here, waiting for help from Cal, hoping that Cal might be able to hold that angle. Looks like Fnatic just starting to surround and just starting to pinch here, but not before 50 points are on the board for the side of KS7.
Inside that hard point once more. Look at those shots coming in as well from Salva. We see Accept taken down, and Kiri inside of that hard point once more. And boy, oh boy, do we have a game on our hand here. It seems like KS7 really do have their strategies locked down. And speaking of which, just jump into the comms and see how they're communicating.
One HP, one speed. Just even 100 stairs.
Okay, reclaim.
I'm waiting guys for the guy mid. I'm waiting for you guys mid.
Go next, guys. Go. No. Too early.
Don't.
No,
guys.
We're just
Go next.
yeah, go. Yeah, so, one HP, mid. Dead. Nice.
White mid.
Yeah, I'm going. One tower, one behind me. Blue tower, 1 HP. I give him 100, 1 HP. Two pull.
I died.
Both pull. Dead one. One on side. Cal.
Reclaim red room.
I'm going red. I'm going focus in red room, bro.
I died.
Okay, play together.
Yep. Listen, 1 left, 2, 3 red room, bro.
Yeah. One. Okay. 100.
Chill, don't pick.
Yeah.
Come right side.
Dead. Oh, pull 1.
Left.
Full flanking, be careful.
Dead.
Wait to flank.
Nice.
We need
Go.
to flank now.
1 HP. Two, 1 HP. 2 1 HP. One spot behind.
2 are close.
Dead. Go. We're flank.
Yep, flank.
20 white.
White speed.
Dead 1. Dead 2.
One. Dead, nice.
I'm
Okay,
playing next. There's one next.
One
already.
stairs. Nice. One more. They're still cut.
Well, as we move to the hard point number 3, you can see the Fnatic have come back into this. It's been a fantastic hold for them on a hard point here on the Lambo here, which they have had the spawns for. So a pretty good hold, even though KS8 did do a pretty good job of putting some pressure onto them. KS7 just in those final moments get the break, and now they return for next.
How about Cal in the back of the base there? Needed to win the first 1v1, isolates the angle on the second one as well. Very, very nice. Still racking up time, so KS7 will still be in the lead. But you know what's fascinating? I talked to Sis specifically about that exact hard point before the tournament began, and talking about hard points you can lock down. He looked at me, he said, Lambo, that is the one where we know we can get the time, and that's exactly what they did. Fnatic is right back in this. They are scoring yet again, and what was essentially a 60-point lead is now a tied game here at the 100-point mark.
This is a couple of hard points that they can link together as well with the spawns that they do have here on Panther. And you can see that the score is starting to get closer and closer as the teams start to butt heads in and around that hard point. Now, Kiri, he's going to break into the hill as Fnatic will lose 2, Fnatic will lose 3. So this is an opportunity for just a little bit of time for them here. And like I mentioned, if you can neutralize this time and even steal some away from Fnatic, for KF7, that is a fantastic hold as they're already in next.
5th and final hard point now. Salvo already here to support Cal as well. Cal just looking for a little little bit of peak damage as he just pokes above and wants to isolate these lanes. We've seen how many teams can lock down this fifth hard point. That's exactly what they're going to try to do and get Fnatic into this choke. They pick up 3 in the choke. Can they get the 4th as well? Agers is the last one alive. He gets taken down. Beautiful. What did we say? Fnatic continually, time after time, they are all inning single chokes. They are flying together with one another, and my God, does KS7 ever make them pay?
And Fnatic now has to push through the front of this hill. They have the bad spawns. They're spawning so far away, but they do manage to get a pick. However, 2 members have gone down in the meantime. That's going to be 3, and it could be 4 again here. Kiri trying to be massive in those final moments, but it's not going to happen, and it's going to be more time here as 17 seconds are left on this hard point for KS7.
Interesting. Fnatic, once again, they're not letting go of that strategy. The second I saw them playing Chalet CTF the way that they were, I knew they were going to bring that same strategy here to hardpoint, and twice now, back-to-back, it does not pay off. Sizz is already here for the rotate on that first hard point, but still, not before a lot of points go on the board for KS7. They now lead 163 to 113.
And you have to remember, this first hard point was all KS7s. They gobbled out that time. They were able to win that initial fight and lock it down. So for Fnatic, they need to make sure the Olymps are going to go their way, and that's going to be 3 of them falling into the column that they want to call their own. They get 3 eliminations, KS7 on the back foot here, and Fnatic making a rally.
See if Cal gets an angle he needs to, because look where the rest of the team is. Essentially trapped into this low area, trying to push up those staircases. It's never easy. Kiri working in the back with Cody, and we'll see if they can get this one done. And they also very nicely combine on Sizz. That means 3 down in the feed. Olims coming in once again for KS7, and Fnatic started to mount a comeback. KS7 shuts it down quickly.
Set to fall as the first player from the push of Fnatic as well, so it's going to be even more time here for KS7. They're about to cross that 180-point mark. The flank comes in now, and it's only going to be good for 1 as the teamwork, again, in and around that hard point is absolutely superb. The rotation has already occurred here as well for KS7, and it seems like they're just not only picking up limbs, I would say, more frequently in this game. It seems to be outslaying, but also their rotations have been a little bit ahead of Fnatic's.
They have. Let's see what Accept can do. He went huge in CTF. Can he do the same here in this game? On the marksman roll, and he starts to brain there. That was marksman versus marksman. Salvo will fall. However, a lot of teammates falling around him. Needs to be careful. He will likely get flushed out. Kiri with a very nice push, making sure they take down Accept and Sizz. Once again, more time here. Two players here pushing in from the left side. Agers taken down. Now's taken down. Once again, it will be more time for KS7.
That EMP was so good as well. You can see the Fnatic wanted to bubble in so they can contest and then wait for the help to arrive off the back of it. But KS7 with the EMP managed to just take it out almost immediately and make those players essentially a lot more vulnerable than they wanted to be. They're going to give up this time here. KS7 will not be able to win on this hard point, but Fnatic are backing on a perfect Lambo hill here to send it a little bit deeper in this game.
They really are. They've done it once. They've held that Lambo so perfectly. It felt like during the entirety of the KS7 listening that they were just frustrated. You actually kept hearing KS7 players saying, 1 week, okay. Okay, got taken down, and just felt like they were just completely shut down, both in-game and verbally, even during the listen. And Sizz trying to hold back Hardwood. Cal's making the push. Here it is.
2v2. Just has the shield advantage, but doesn't have the peak advantage, and certainly didn't have the jump, and it's going to be KS7 who step inside of this hard point. The bubble is going down as Fnatic are trying to make a desperate play to keep KS7 away from claiming this game as their own. It's 246 points on the board to Fnatic's 165 and rising. Tava just taking his time to wait for this push. Great shot coming in from Accept again to hit the body and slow things down.
Slowing it down, but also Cody trying to make the push happen. Let's see if they can pinch him back Hardwood. Cody starting to make the push here. Bubble is down as well. Tries to step in, but will need more limbs. There it is.
Going to find 2, and that will be Fnatic essentially all falling at the wrong time, and that means the game will close out here. In the side of KS7, they get that last second break, manage to flush the play out of the hill. And we've got a series on our hand now. We're tied up at 1-1.
We do. Talk about Fnatic going full aggro. What felt like the whole game, just really trying to fly right into the face of KS7, and off of the opening rip, it did not pay off. There was a really nice Lambo hold, which we expect them to get, given the spawns. However, in the end, it's KS7 just shutting that one down in the end. They shut down the second Lambo hold, but more importantly, held down so much time. Really, if you think about hardpoint 1, hardpoint 5, each time we went to each of those, a lot of time on the board for them. And Fnatic was flying through the same chokes. And when you have things like splash damage coming into play and really nice bubbles as well as EMPs coming in from KS7, it was impossible to get through. And they got so much time through those hardpoints.
I want to give a shout out to KS7 as well on the 4th hill, the fourth hardpoint that we did see, because that's a Fnatic hardpoint. When you look at the spawns on the map, you look at the access that they do have, and they got essentially neutralized, it felt like, for time on that hill. It was a split down the middle, and if you are the team who is attacking one of those hard points instead of defending it, to come out of those situations is, with essentially an even footing, is a win on your side, right? Fnatic get the majority of the Lambo hill, but to bounce back from that, neutralize that second one before you move to your more favorable ones, it's a good feeling.
And it really started with Cal. We saw the 1v1. I think it was Cal and Nounsy at first that were in the back, and Cal just slowly gets the peak, he gets the 3P, and he also gets the help that he needed to lock that down, and couldn't agree more. A lot of good time here. Look at this also. Once again, from height, Agers tries to get to height. They immediately turn around. It's really good team shotting from them the entire time, and it feels like because they got each entry frag, they were always able to get the next few. This is when Accept was trying to get away. So did for a second. If you'll remember, that was from Accept's point of view on Salva. Absolutely beautiful brainer. But Salva with some nice sniping in the zone.
As I say, both marksmen really did have moments where they shined in that game. It was this final Lambo hill there where you saw Fnatic essentially gave themselves a slim chance, but a chance. They knew that the game wouldn't be ending on that previous hard point and decided to rotate early for that Lambo hill and think, well, hey, we managed to lock it down before, and not only if we lock down this Lambo hill do we get the time, we also have a pretty easy, strong rotate towards that next hard point as well. It was a smart plan. Unfortunately, just in the final moments, I love what I see from KS7 in those pushes they're putting together. It's not a desperate push. It's time. It's get four of us together, flush out the hill, fight around the hill before we go for that final play inside of it. And I got to say, a little bit of composure being shown in those late moments is what brings you so much success.
It really is, and I also think they did so well to get themselves that early cushion, and it's so hard to come back from when you're talking about any territory-based game type, whether it's whether it's a Call of Duty game type, whether it's a Halo game type, when you're talking about these 4v4 bread and butter territory-based game types, when you get those early leads, so you can also say the same thing about CTF, or you could say it's the same thing about Keeper, which we're about to see. When you get those point leads, you can just take a little bit more time. It buys you the time cushion to make a better coordinated play, and that's exactly what they will look to do again here. But Fnatic has to be feeling a little bit surprised. A really comfortable CTF win in the end in terms of the way that they handled it, but they get upset big on hardpoint. We'll see what Keeper is going to be the go-ahead game as the two teams are tied 1-1 in the series.
Keeper's certainly kept us guessing so far in this tournament, not just on who's going to be the strongest team, who has the best records, but where those holds are going to be coming in as well. We've seen those tower holds, the cliffside holds as well, and of course we spent a lot of time in the basement.
We sure did.
We'll have to see if we're going to be spending a little bit more time or if we're going to see something a little bit different after the VODs have been reviewed overnight. I want to see if the work has been done by these teams to break some of those basement setups.
Yeah, that's the question. It's not easy to do. As you saw from yesterday, if you caught any Keeper gameplay, that really is where the key always tends to end up. Here off the opening rip, you're going to see a key spawning in the dead center. Sometimes spawns, of course, up on the top side as well. Going to be a dead center spawn from the open.
The attempt was put into place there to try and bubble forward and maybe think about getting that key back, but instead it's going to be based off of the eliminations that do come in, and it's going to be the man on your screen who's going to run away with it. Cal's got that key on his back, and it will be 3 players from Fnatic who were eliminated in that opening rush. So early time here, going to the side of KS7.
KS7, early points on the board here. Fnatic now just feeling the pressure. Salva comes through as well. However, Agers and Accept do combine for a few elims of their own. This will now open things up for them. Salva, though, once again, I'm loving the Salva versus Accept marksman battle. It has been thrilling to watch this. Oh boy, almost does it. Sizz comes flying in as well. But it's been an amazing marksman battle between those two.
Not a huge amount of time on the board for either side here as KS7 has recognized that they have to drop that key occasionally to make sure that they're baiting in those Fnatic players to try and pick up the elims first. Now you're going to see the rotates start to come in towards the tower, and you can do that because the space has been open thanks to the 2 eliminations coming in from Salva. And you're completely right, by the way. Salva just seems to be electric in that feed right now. He's picking up a limb after a limb.
Love this from Cody as well. Just right. Some players sit inside. If you sit in the back of this observation tower, you're way more, just more angles you can play. You're way less force. Salva once again gets 2 against Accept and Agers, and another one off screen against Sizz. A triple for Salva. Beautiful. This will be more time for them.
Game is very easy when you're just sitting there and your teammates are picking up those eliminations. Accept has seen what Salva is bringing to the party, and now he has to step up here for Fnatic. Not going to be able to do so himself, but his teammates are starting to pick up a couple of elims. But in the meantime, look at the score.
Salva
66-7.
Salva has almost double the elims that Fnatic had time moments ago. Unbelievable stat line to open things up. Fnatic now finally scoring once again on board with Kiri, trying to sneak through.
Just waiting for a little bit of help to arrive before they start putting that push together. Shot's going to come in. Elimination's going to be picked up. Cow is going to slide away here to make The rest of Fnatic work a little bit harder for those eliminations, and by doing so, keeps himself alive. Now he can re-engage as well. And that's going to force Fnatic to fall, and that key will be down as well. Such a smart break there, Andy.
Really nice. Look at Cal on the head glitch, like you said, just slowly waiting for his teammates to push down on staircase side, and they're able to take that out. Really nice push from them. Now 72 to 38. They'll keep scoring once again.
Fnatic starts to just match the eliminations that have been picked up by KS7 in the last few moments. The elimination's starting to equal out a little bit, and that's why you're seeing that score just get a little bit closer than it was a few moments ago. Trades in and around that tree. Fnatic trying to push out Cal here, and with the way that he started that game, it's no surprise to see them sending 2 members to deal with him.
Yeah, it's absolutely just in the feed non-stop. It felt like all those openings now, and a little bit of a transitional setup here, except also popping off with the snipe as well, and now that will be, look at the feed. Agers and Accept combining for a whole lot. Cal is going to try to poke here, along with Salvo, but it's not easy. It's a 2v4 at the moment.
He's going to get bodied on the cross, which is going to slow down this push a little bit. A couple of dynos being saved. And now they're going to be used as well. That initial damage is so important. I love what I'm seeing here from KS7, by the way. Even though Fnatic have brought this game extremely close, I will say the use of utility on that push is something I've been looking for, and they saved those dynamites to flush a few players out.
And Cal, absolutely, couldn't agree more. Cal finally going to get that key out of there. Kiri's going to come to help as well. Now they're going to rotate back a little bit around the area affectionately known as Hagrid's Hut. But the key will now leave the staircase, courtyard, and observation tower. They will hold, and now comfortably seated in the hut. You and I have argued about what's underneath that tarp.
I can't even remember what my first pick was. I think I said it was a workbench.
Yeah, it's got to be a stove.
It's got to be a stove. It's a workbench. Anyway, push is now going to come in as KS7 again. All of this time going to their pockets. 116 points and rising. And even though we saw a little bit of a comeback in that mid-game from Fnatic, it's KS7 with this hold in and around Hagrid's Hut, who are making the most. There's Cal in the feed once more, and I tell you what, all of a sudden Fnatic bodies are falling once more. This is what we saw initially that got this game underway from KS7, and look at this, Cody's already trying to push up and put some pressure on the respawners.
Really nice there from Kiri, and guess what? Cal's going to go right up the steps, and maybe we're going to see a basement hold. I think everyone's thinking it. He's bringing it dangerously close to the basement. We haven't been down there yet.
Go to the basement.
I don't know if we need to go to the basement. It's been fine without the basement this round. It might be the first time we haven't gone to the basement. Don't jinx it. 19 seconds left.
You're going to be taken down, and that will be round number 1 done and dusted. KS7 will get that one on the board, and I've got to say that was a very, very impressive round for a number of reasons, right? The reason that I liked it the most is because... Go on.
No, you go.
Oh, you're excited?
I am.
Okay. Well, tune in, everyone. It was a variety of holds.
Yes,
right?
and no basement holds.
And no basement holds.
No basement holds. If you were watching yesterday and you said, you know what, I'm sick of this basement, don't worry. We've got new variety for you here in Keeper. No basement hold. Instead, it's a dominant KS7 victory. Mostly going to be courtyard, staircase, observation tower, and even a cheeky cliffside Hagrid's Hut hold as they close that one out very comfortably. Sizz off the bubble grab. Going to try to get away. Agers also combining alongside Accept to pick up another one. Cal, though.
Cal in the feed again, but there's the answer back from Cody. He's going to find 2 himself, and most importantly, going to get away with that key on his back. Bounty trying to cut down the middle map at the moment. Salva's trying to buy a little bit of time and make it work hard for it, and still manages to body him as he goes forward. But there's 2 for Fnatic. The elimination starting to stack up as we're going to see a little bit of time as KS7 are rotating away once more.
Big EMP coming in. Not going to be easy to push through. Sizz not going to do well. Neither is Nowzy. Maybe Agers as well. Cal with the triple off of the EMP. Absolutely beautiful. Kiri will pick up another one as well. That will mean 4 will fall. But my goodness, Cal. He's doing it. He's earned it. He's got the triple. He brings the key to the basement.
It's okay, everybody. We will allow him to go to the basement. You have to make a massive play to enter it, and now the doors are open. And Fnatic find themselves now having to push against this basement hold. It was a little bit of a messy one for them to try and coordinate how they do want to attack it, and especially with a couple of eliminations being picked up on either side, it makes it even more difficult. But here comes Salva. He wants the 1v1, but he's not going to win it.
Agers was the last player alive, though. Not going to be easy for him. He tries to get up. He's not going to be able to get out. 61 to 10 already. That was 4 down on the elims in favor of KS7 yet again, and they're continuing to really rock the basement now as they start to transition to this hole. One thing you and I talked about, Mark, yesterday was the utility. Fnatic is having to burn their utility just to get up near the basement, and in doing so, it's very difficult to break.
I have to see if KS7 can do something similar. There's the first elimination for them, but Accept picked up one elsewhere, which Now means they can flood, but the problem is they've been baited in here, and look at that 2v1 situation they created for themselves there. Fnatic, there's going to be another 2v1 for them that they've created themselves, and this is Fnatic using all of the intricacies of this basement and the angles they hold to make sure there's always 2 guns versus 1.
Here now. See if you... A Lim's in the feed, knows he's going to have to push him here. 65 to 48. KS7 trying to push him, but Fnatic is holding. It's a good opportunity to get into another. KS7 listen in as they grab the key.
Back up.
I'm far, I'm so far. 90 meters.
Alright.
Yeah, well, we have to wait, Kiri.
Right.
1 mid on me. I have 1 on me.
So, yeah,
run
they're
back,
both
run
flanking.
back,
I know,
run
I am,
back.
I am. There's 2 flanking, 2 flanking. 2 flanking.
1 HP. Dead.
I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm dead. It's solo inside.
No, 1 HP, 1
Alright,
HP, 1
so
HP.
relax,
What,
relax,
what,
focus,
what,
focus,
what,
focus.
yeah.
We
Play
have
together, play together.
Yeah.
Yes.
On me, guys.
Nice. One more. Yeah.
Yeah, on me. 1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP.
I
Right.
kill him. Good. That's good.
Bow.
He's cracked, he's cracked. Oh
No,
It's fine,
1
it's
HP.
fine, it's fine, it's fine.
1 on me.
He's on me.
no. One spawn mid.
1 HP.
Two on me. 49
I'm
life.
coming.
Dead ball.
Okay,
One speed.
Kitty, there's one behind you, okay?
That? Yeah.
I took the ball.
On me, 1 on me, guys.
Yes,
Hello.
On me.
Ja, spin.
Told me.
Well, out of the comms, there's a few things to take away. Before we do so, though, it's 88 to 70 the score at the moment. KS7 with that key in their possession.
That's really the most important thing. And right away, though, it's a 3-stack coming in from Fnatic on the staircase. They'll start to bring the key back to courtyard, and they will stack and continue scoring yet again. Keeping a very close eye on the rotate. They might even think about heading to observation tower here. Salva try to break.
EMP's going to go in as well, maybe thinking there might be a bubble coming through. There's the flood. 3 players are going to take out 1. However, Fnatic do manage to, thanks to Nounsy, get that elimination, which allows him a little bit of space on the map. It's going to be 2 for him as well. It's going to be 3, except is taken down in the feed, and that's going to be the only player for Fnatic who does fall in this push. So a break coming in almost single-handedly, it felt, from the gun of Nounsy. Now he has that key back in his possession, and Fnatic have a chance to turn this lead over.
Very, very nicely done here. Cody with a defensive bubble as well, just to hold the angle and try to see if he can live to fight another day. He's actually going to just try to fly right in right now.
Fnatic have managed to go into a lead here. And this hold is looking very, very strong for them. 25 seconds left in this round. You have to wonder if KS7 are going to have enough time to get up the map and get that key out of the hands of Nounsy here. If they are, then it will be going down to the last second, but it looks like the maths is starting to add up in the favor of Fnatic here. They will tie this game up here at 1 round apiece.
Yeah, Nounsy just going to go for a little victory lap here. As you see, 6 seconds left on the clock, and of course, for quite some time, it's been their round, and that will force us to a game-deciding round number 3 in Keeper. And of course, that's also going to be the go-ahead game. The team that wins this one will go up in the series 2-1 as well. Everything on the line here in this 3rd round of Keeper.
One thing that really stood out to me at the end of that round was the break that came in from Fnatic and the strength of the hold as well. It was 1 or 2 team wipes they managed to put back-to-back. Especially when the pressure was on, and maybe you look at the KS7 side there, and there's a few players just pushing on their own, trying to get ahead of the pace, and that's the opportunity that you cannot present to a team who is playing catch-up in the game. You think that you've almost won it before you have, and then before you know it, the seconds start to tick away, the limbs start to stack up against you, and it's like, oh, we've got 1 more push instead of 2 or 3.
Yeah, very good team shot here coming in just moments ago from Fnatic that you saw on screen, but Salva and co are just trying to hold the outside. Sizz is still being a little bit of a nuisance here on this rock, as you see, just trying to hold this angle. It's a difficult grab on the cliffside. He has a lot of limbs you need to track down there. Sizz and Nounsy combining to pick up a few more in the back. And a very different opening for both these teams as they get used to that 3rd round key opening.
He's lucky going to slide away with that key. It's going to be Fnatic to be able to have somewhat of a transitional setup here in and around the cliff side. A little push coming in behind it, but his teammates are going to be there to support him. But Cow is flying in. There's 1, there's 2! And there's the damage being cleaned up and the key stolen away. He's looking back for more. Doubles back, and Cow, after picking up the initial 2, he'll find another one as well.
Gotta say, except though, before that was over, it did pick up 2 somehow. I have no idea how within the bubble, except managed to do that much damage. Luckily, there was a 3rd. Cal picks up the 3rd, and that will allow them to rotate the key. And I dare say it, they're bringing it dangerously close to a part of the map which is mostly underground. Nounsy trying to walk in there. Fnatic beautifully done in the feed. They'll pick up 3 of them straight, and this will now be time for them. They do trail by 15.
That was Dynamite primed and ready. Nounsy in and around that bubble is going to make him a difficult kill and difficult elimination, and 21 eliminations is what he has managed to stack up himself. But Salva, he's already on 30, and there's going to be the 31st for him. Game tied up though, as Fnatic still have that key in that possession. Even though the elims are great, you've got to get that objective under control.
Ooh, awkward bubble fight there. Kiri's going to win that one over Agers. Agers tries to edge it out, but in the end does get taken down. Cal also grabbing one, which should mean more time here, maybe even a lead change for KS7.
Fnatic now playing catch up as KS7 are going to run away with that key in their hand. Let's jump into the comms and see how they plan to break.
Fight in, then we last resort. Fight in, last resort.
barrels.
Dead. Help ball. We can't last resort.
Yeah.
Crack them.
I'm
One
running
screen,
right.
70 white. I'm getting pushed. He left me, says. There's two there. There's two there.
I need help. Done.
I'm waiting.
I'll bring Benji out. I'll clear your Benji. I'll clear your Benji. Dead, got him, Benji.
Done.
Nice.
Nice. I'm bitchy.
One
Someone go
screen.
boxes. Someone go
Nazi, come with me. There's one here. There's one here. One here now, Z. There's one here. Dead.
One more inch.
I need to help one gate.
Dead.
I got down a
Swing
minute.
him.
It's fine. We're getting it. If no one's boxes,
Dead, I
though.
got him.
If someone boxes,
Nazi's left it.
I know, I
Going back.
was dead.
sit on the boxes wall.
I'm playing behind you, Agers.
I'm playing
behind you.
They're here. On me.
I killed one. Again.
140.
They're gonna kill me though.
170. Above, Nazi. 70 white.
There's one bitchy. He's low.
Love the energy that we're hearing here from Fnatic, and why wouldn't you? 82 points and rising on the board for Fnatic.
Oh boy, Cody tries to just get a defensive there push, and in the end, make sure he doesn't get his face peeled. Sizz comes up and somehow sneaks out one out of the trade, and in the end, Agers will be taken down, so this should be time. Assuming Accept can't make a miracle happen. No, he cannot, so this should be time here with the key on the boxes coming in for KS7, but I'm not surprised to see, Mark. As I said yesterday, I didn't expect the observation tower hold to be the one. Sitting back on the base spawn doorway seems to be the new angle that these teams are playing.
Well, for Fnatic, even though they had established a lead and the energy was good in the listening, now they're going to have to break because KS7 have started to come back here as that key has been rotated towards the basement. Is Cal with the key on his back. The bomb will go down to protect him to escape as well. And we are going to see a lead change here in this deciding round. So KS8 will hold on to that key and will go into the lead. And the elimination feed is starting to favor them as well. That was 4 dead for Fnatic.
Wow, KS7, what a time to strike here in this third round. 55 seconds left on the clock, and they now lead here by about 13.
Except needs to find a pick here to allow them to push forward. Utility's going to come in. However, the first one does go the way of KS7. Now they're looking for more as well, and will find more. Cody trying to cut a few players down, but not going to be able to do so. KS7 still have that key in their hands, and even though Nowzy and Agents are trying to do what they can to break it, got to worry about where that key is and the fact there's only 30 seconds left.
Wow, Agers just absolutely beautiful sequence from him now. Salvo, though, trying to fly in. He gets two in a huge time in the game. Sizz will clean up, though. 23 seconds left on the clock. This is do or die.
This could be the game. Fnatic, do they have enough time left? That's the question.
No.
I'm not sure that they do. And that final play, that final hold that came in from KS7 was enough to give them the advantage in this game, in this series, and they will go up 2-1.
Wow, like you said, at the end, late game composure coming in. We knew it was going to come down to the wire, but KS7 takes your game number 3 in the third round of Keeper. And just like that, after trailing 1-0 after game 1, they now lead the series 2-1 and are only 1 game away from sending Fnatic home.
Got to look back at the statistics from that game because there was a few moments every time we saw eliminations popping up, we were like, who is actually winning the race for the most eliminations? Because a couple of players really were battling it out to see if they could be the play we talk about when we head back to the studio a little bit later. But I think even though KS7 are going to be feeling great, even though they're going to be feeling very happy that they closed that out and they find themselves with a lead in this series, we now move, of course, over to CTF once more, which was the game type that Fnatic managed to take. And elimination, of course, is on the line. Those keys are on the line. And knowing that you're going back to a game type that has had some success for you a little bit earlier in the series, at least it's a cushion emotionally for you to know there's a way back into this.
Yeah, one of those 2 keys on your screen will be crushed, and one will go back into the hands of the team that owns it. We'll take a look at some highlights from that game of Keeper, because man, was it back and forth. Also, just fantastic listening that you heard as well from the side of Fnatic, and it felt like they had everything they needed to do, but that final hold in that third round, even though we saw Agers with a fantastic push, man, you just saw really, really solid holds coming in from KS7. And I tell you what, Fnatic seemed to dominate the red spawn door. When they held here, it was really game over. This was the hold I was talking about, but as soon as that key came out of there, it felt like KS7 was a little bit more comfortable in the holds outside of that area of the map.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. It felt like Fnatic kind of had their setup, right? It was the one, but I mentioned in the first round where there was a number of different locations that we saw that key being held and teams standing up in and around it, and that was where you felt like KS7 just had a little bit more advantage. Almost felt like they were a little bit more practice on the holds that they wanted to achieve, like you say, in multiple different positions on the map. Fnatic and Aegis, 33 eliminations to his name, tried to do all that he could towards this end game, but I gotta say, Salva in that game, I mean, he had some monster numbers.
Absolutely did. Kira, look at in the end, also 36 to his name, and just fantastic stuff coming in from the KS7 players. They've got a lot to be proud of, especially after trailing 1-0 in that game number 1, right? Narrowly losing a CTF. I think it'd be easy for players that have less overall FNCS global experience than the players on Fnatic to maybe kind of get checked, maybe mentally be like, maybe this isn't our tournament. Instead, they've got, you already hear the chants in the crowd. They've got some hometown support here, and it's been the Middle East has kind of showed up for them in a big way in terms of just the crowd support. You even saw the coach kind of smiling when he heard those chants, and it's paid off, right? 2-1 here in their favor.
One thing I want to kind of keep the hopes of Fnatic alive with is the energy that we heard from that listening, right? It didn't feel like there was any dejection. It didn't feel like they were getting down on themselves. And I mentioned previously, when we look back at the results in this series, it was game number 1 that Fnatic managed to take home on Capture the Flag. So you kind of put all those pieces together, and we might see this series going a little bit longer. We'll find out if that is going to be the case in just a few moments when we get back from this break. Welcome back to the Esports World Cup featuring Fortnite, and we are into a beautiful, beautiful part of this series between Fnatic and KS7. And the reason you're wondering why is this so beautiful is because this is an elimination game, and we are finding ourselves in game number 4. Fnatic, unfortunately, came out on the wrong side of that previous game of keeper KS7, showing some life with back-to-back victories now to send us to this point.
I'll tell you what, we're here on the Amazon stage. Only fitting that the Amazon Prime producers would have written this story this exact way, right? Fnatic, the favorites here in the series overall, coming in, of course, with that 6th seed. The team that you would expect to take this one, of course, a team that really has been one of the most prepared teams of the pool. Let's not forget they were boot camping in London for a week getting ready for this. Also very, very locked in. You saw their margins in CTF in terms of their DreamHack wins. However, instead it's KS7 ready to rock here. They've shown up in a big way in games 2 and 3, and of course, now only 1 game away and representing the Middle East quite well here in this series. Hometown crowd, like we said, behind them as Fnatic's going to get ready to get in. Looks like they will take their optional player break here for just a moment as well to try to get a little bit of a mental reset.
Do they? I was going to say maybe a change of heart.
You and I have been doing this a long time, Mark. We've never seen a team fake us out with the optional player break.
Respect that.
But you know what it could have been also? It could have been also that they were given an optional player break about 5 minutes ago, and then they just tried to take it, and the station referees may have said, actually, no, use your 5 minutes.
Some of those stage referees as well, big guys. They'll send you back onto that main stage almost immediately, and you just saw Fnatic maybe having their mind change for them.
Listen, let that be a lesson to each of you out there, wherever you're watching from. If you're given the opportunity to do something that sounds like a good idea, do it then and there, because the opportunity may elude you. It may be gone moments later, and I believe that would be a historical first for you and I to see a team attempt to take their player break late, and we're instructed you had 5 minutes.
Had an opportunity.
The 5 minutes have been used up, and now the lobby needs to start, so you need to sip.
The opportunity has slipped through your fingers. Anyway, we have to see if it's going to be Fnatic's opportunity slipping through their fingers as we head into our game number 4 now. We are going over to Panther for some capture the flag. So a little bit of a change of location for us in comparison to what we saw a little bit earlier on. CTF on Chalet was how it started things off, and that was a 2-1 victory for Fnatic.
It was, and I think one thing we got to talk about is Fnatic's playstyle. It's really buddy system, kind of heavy stack, flood gameplay. The way that worked on Chalet worked quite well. There were overflowing lanes, they were holding front Chalet and window, and it worked out very well. I think it's going to be different here on Panther in terms of the way this plays. You and I have talked about it. If you can infiltrate one player across the map and you can get that pull, you can kind of do these really big swings and you can get sneaky pulls and a lot of flag standoffs happen. Let's see how Fnatic's style of play results in a Panther CTF match.
Yeah, communication going to be a huge part of success here on Panther CTF, because like you mentioned, it's a lot of the time when you're on Chalet, you're kind of looking across your lanes. You can see the majority of things happening in front of you, right? There's not a lot of kind of peripheral vision you have to worry about. Think about the map and the layout. Whereas on Panther, there's so many lanes that you have to account for towards your flag and, of course, your opponent's flag as well. That communication on not exactly like where you're looking, but also like you are missing a player. Like, where is that player? Someone has to locate them.
Right.
It is valuable information that is almost becomes vital instead of just valuable for tracking down and finding what the clearest run home is going to be when you get that flag moving.
And the other side of that is it provides a really interesting opportunity for players like we saw yesterday to not only be on flanks, but also sit in very specific kind of areas and angles and not only play defensive stands, wait for teammates. On Chalet, it feels like these lanes are easier to clear out, right? If someone's sitting rockside or sitting tunnel, they can get flooded out, and it's very easy. Because of all the different amount of, first of all, the width of the map on Panther, as well as the nooks, the crannies, the lanes, there's
elevation changes.
Exactly, there's a whole bunch of extra stuff at play where you can't really clear out your base that easily, and there's a real opportunity for players, especially as we said, players who are on Infiltrator, to be sneaky, to wait for each other, to make sure that you're on the flank and you can really use the width of the map to your advantage.
Yeah, I always feel like the Infiltrator is a really strong pick here on Panther, even compared to what we saw a little bit earlier on Chalet, right? Because of the fact, like you say, that you can go undetected, and if you're undetected with a little bit extra speed, a little bit extra sprint speed, then you can get 10, 15 feet further than you might have previously back towards your teammates who can give you that assistance when you're running that flag. So all these little things start to add up.
You really can, and I'm curious how Fnatic plays this, because if they continue to 4-stack aside, and as we saw, not just at CTF, right, they did in Hardpoint as well. If they continue to all in and 4-stack and aggro the routes that they push, it could work really well, or that could really work against them because of the width of the map, right? As we saw, if they're 4-stacking one side as they wrap on a pull, all it takes is a single player from the side of KS7 to get into their base, to start to cause chaos, to use the width to pull them apart. I don't know if Fnatic is going to go with that same exact strategy where they're really standing really side by side, pushing the same exact lane. I'm curious if they go for that exact strategy here on Panther CTF, because I think it will play differently than it did on Chalet.
Well, they're going to have to get this strategy right, because if they do find themselves falling as we head into our map number 4, they unfortunately will find themselves falling not just in this game, not just in this series, but out of the tournament as well. So a lot of pressure on the shoulders of the 4 gentlemen in the Fnatic jerseys on our main stage right now. For KS7 though, what a chance this is to keep themselves alive in this tournament.
I mean, absolutely. Would be, let's not forget, KS7 is the last qualified in Group C. For anyone who maybe is just tuning in or hasn't tracked these rosters coming in, Fnatic, the way that they qualified 5th, 6th in this group in North America, they are the 2nd seed in the group. They're going up against the 4th seed, and KS7, who leads them right now. They are 1 game away from sending Fnatic home. Can Fnatic stay alive and force a game number 5?
Let's see what happens then off the rip here as everybody flies towards each other on the mid-map. A little bit of patience being picked up here. Interesting to see that we are going to see a couple of marksmen in Accept, and on the other side of things, on the KS7 side. So even though we are seeing the elevation difference, we're seeing the lack of, I would say, clear lanes. A lot of responsibility is going to be on the shoulders of those players to get those first picks and open things up. Cal is going to be here and looking to find one himself.
Yeah, how about this opening as well? So slow.
There is the battle of the marksman.
Finally, the first picks come in, and these teams just really playing carefully. They know how much is on the line. You can feel it here on this main stage.
Salva now, after a monstrous performance when it came to eliminations, he's looking for more, but won't be able to find the second, as Downsy now is going to be controlling the patio up on height. And it's Fnatic who you would say have the majority of the control here. However, a couple of trades are going to come across the board, but they start to stack up, and Fnatic are getting aggressive here. They know that Kiri's in the back of that base. They've got the bubble down as well. Fnatic are trying to slide in here. 3 players inside of the bubble on the Fnatic side. If they get these eliminations, then there might be an opportunity for them to pull. And yes, indeed, Sis lucky, he's away.
Aegis was in late as well. Nouncy picks up another one in the elim feed, and based off the feed alone and what we're seeing, Sis should be away with this.
He should be away. Nobody is in position to cut him down with the guns. We're going to have to maybe hope it's going to be a bit of utility that stops him at the finish line, but not going to happen. And Fnatic will keep the pressure on in this series. They will go up by 1-0.
I love that play from Accept as well. Even though that flag was definitely home, what does it do? He escorts that flag carrier all the way back. Just in case a marksman shot comes through, just in case some nonsense prevails, they escort that flag all the way back to the stand with 2 players. They make sure it goes in. They lead 1-0. But here comes the KS7 push.
Gotta wonder about that counter cap. Even though you spend a lot of resources to get that flag home, if you get a limbs inside and around your base, trying to just keep yourself and your flag carrier alive, it opens up opportunities like this. However, even though Cow is away with that flag, a couple of eliminations were picked up on the Fnatic side, and now there's going to be a few shots coming in, so he's going to have to pick his route so carefully.
You can tell he knows it. Accept is already there. He needs to be careful, needs to work with the team. And right now they know they can't come in just yet. They need a few more limbs before they cap this flag. Flag's still out.
Fnatic with a chance to make a last-second stand here. But he's going to find 2, though, and Ayers will be taken down as well. It's going to be 3 in the feed for him, and Cal now has a clear run home. If they can deal with Sis Lucky, who managed to just sneak away with that flag, then they will be able to tie this game up. But that pull was massive. Fnatic managed to kind of avoid a lot of the KS7 players.
Yeah, what do we talk about? Once again, it's Sis on the infiltrator, the one who gets behind the enemy lines. That's exactly what he does. That was 3 in the feed for Cody, but guess what? Sis was the one on the flag stand. He stays alive long enough for the help as well, and now we have a flag standoff here. And because KS7 has that flag in, this almost goes in their favor in terms of the flag standoff, but here comes the push.
Oh, what a flank. What a flank. Damage being done, but doesn't get 2. The flank is good, but it's not perfect, as Cal will drop that flag for a second and put it home. 1-1, it's KS7 who win the battle of the returns.
What a push from Salva. Even though in terms of the first person, it didn't look that impressive, he got the opening damage. Like I said, he got the flank. It totally caught Fnatic off guard, and that paves the way now for Cody to be bringing back another flag as well. And it's through 2 more, 3 more in the feed coming in for KS7. This one should go home as well.
It's going to be a double cap. It's back-to-back, and nothing feels better than that in a CTF game type to get the return, to cap, and then immediately do it again. KS7, they have an advantage, and they turn this game on their head.
Absolutely beautifully done here. 90 seconds left on the clock, and the question is, what can Fnatic do in this first round? Can they get 1 more? It's not going to be easy. Not a lot of time to play with.
I mean, that's going to take the wind out of you if you're Fnatic, right? You work so hard to get that first one on the board, having just lost that previous game as well. And then you find yourself losing 1 battle, which turns into not just 1 battle, but into 2 back-to-back caps. But this is their opportunity for Fnatic. They've got their flag moving, and they've got a couple of limbs to support.
Ooh, just avoids that grenade. Very nicely done. Accept picks up 2, which is going to help. 3, by the way. Salva will fall as well. This one should go as well for Sis.
Fnatic showing a little bit of resilience here. As you see, the bubble's going to go down just to make this one comfortable, just to make it safe. Sis going to slide in. We're tied up at 2-2 here in round number 1.
Absolutely beautifully done. By the way, picking up 2 more, Agers and Nounzy will combine for more elims at the mid-map, which is now going to pave the way for even more pressure from Fnatic.
Still have pressure on the base here of KS7. Well, they did until Salva just absolutely decimated someone. 10 eliminations to his name right now, and again, it looks like Fnatic, they're keeping pressure up on the other side of the map, but having lost a couple of eliminations, look at the efficiency coming in from KS7.
Even the fastest.
Do they have the time to get across the map?
No, even the fastest run's not going to bring this one here. Salva is not going to be able to get there, which is unfortunate because you think they might have even had the limbs to do it. Instead, the round will end. KS7 here, 2-1 as we head into our second round. And this is dangerous territory for the side of Fnatic. They need to win, of course, this round as well as the game to send us to a game number 5. Their tournament lives are on the line.
Bottom of lives on the line. You want to be here, having made that trip all the way to Riyadh. When we get to those big days, when we get to the Saturday and the Sunday of a tournament, you always want to be there. You want to be representing your organization. You want to be putting yourself in position to take home some big money. And Fnatic, they will know that as we head into round number 2.
It's true, you came here for a long time. And a good time, ideally, but you would not want to go home on the Friday, not even make it to the Saturday and Sunday. That would just not be the way to spend your time here. Ager's doing everything he can now, along with Nounsy to pick up 2 in the feed. Here comes the Fnatic push.
Another pick gonna get found here on the side of KS7 this time, but Fnatic are absolutely flying at them. They want to keep this pressure on, and Fnatic just trying to ride some momentum here. Cal trying to bounce and weave and dodge around the planters, but he's kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place, but we've seen him do some things, and there is another example of it. Just gets out of a horrible situation within the lift.
Really well done there. Not easy when Sis is pushing you that way just from speed. Salva picks up another one, and now going to make the push up here alongside Cody. Here's the push.
Halfway point on the map is owned at the moment by KS7. Now they're looking to progress into the Fnatic base.
1v1 here. Salva actually going to drop back to help with the Sis fight, and that's going to be a very nice 2v1. Good comms coming in there from the KS7 side. As Kiri's going to pick that one up. Now on board with Nounsy.
Nounsy having to play defensively here. You see he's backing up. He knows that pressure's going to be coming in. And all of this pressure is in and around that Fnatic base, like I previously mentioned. Now, where do those eliminations come in? It's going to be a flood. It's going to be 3. And now you would expect that flag to start moving in the next few moments for the side of KS7. And yes, indeed, they do have that one away.
Oh, and how about this for the setup? Almost, you couldn't write it here, except the marksman is the one behind enemy lines, and he has to get the stop. He's probably going to go for a flagpole as well.
Also, you have Cal, who's the marksman on the other side, so we're seeing a little bit of an overextension, but there's the flank! There's the flank! They cut him down! They stop the overextension! And KS7 will get some eliminations, but on the other side, it's going to be 3 coming in for Fnatic. So when it comes to eliminations,
there it is.
It looks like it's going to go the way of Fnatic. And even though KS7 had that flag away,
Salva!
things are getting so messy.
Off-screen, Salva from distance cuts the flag off, but still, it's another grab for Nounsy. Salva picks up another one, which means he's going to be pushing Nounsy here from the side. Nounsy will fall with that flag, and they will get the return. Big plays in the feed coming from Salva for that flag stop.
Absolutely ridiculous on both sides. You weren't quite sure what way the tables were going to turn in those last few moments, but it ends up leaving us still tied up at 2-2 in round number 2. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock as well, as we're going to see pressure on the Fnatic side once more. Inside of that base is going to be Kiri. He's looking for a flagpole.
Uh-oh, Sis is your last player alive here. Sis is getting pinched on the fountain. Not going to be easy. He will fall to the flag carrier as well, which is the last thing you want to happen. Cody now moving the flag all the way across the map. Nounsy is the overextender for the Fnatic side. Here's the final battle for this flag run.
It's going to be a big battle in and around the mid-map here. Whoever wins this one with 2 minutes left on the clock might put themselves in a position, if you're Fnatic, to send into a game 5. If it's KS7, you might be thinking about closing this out here and now. But Fnatic, with a goal line stand once more, they should get that return, and now they have a chance to counter.
They will get the return. Cody tries to get the angle there. He's the first one off the spawner trying to hit the head glitch. Nounsy will now get the pull. What a turn of events. Fnatic with the stop through the front choke.
Still has that flag away, though. We are in a flag standoff situation. He's trying to be first forward. He wants to try and cut off Fnatic before they get anywhere near that base. This is back to the base, though, already. We might be in a situation that we've seen quite a few times now, where both flags will be away.
Both flags away indeed. You saw Cal was the one who wanted to try to push up the map and see if he could stay alive. So far, he has done so. Now going for the front choke once again. Cody's the first to fall, though. Cal is also the second to fall. Now, Sis, you can tell, waiting for that return. The return does come in, and look at the timing on it. Fnatic will score with 1:13 left in the round. All they need is 70 seconds of defense.
They just hold on here. We will be going all the way to a game 5. With 60 seconds left, it's up to KS7 to make those plays. So he's going to find 2 himself, though. That's going to be 3 eliminations for KS7. And you get the feeling that might be enough.
Oh, boy, all 4. Fnatic will get a perfect wipe, 4 elims in a row with 48 seconds left. And now even just 1 or 2 kills at the 40-second mark really could be the difference maker. And that could end the game, send us to a game 5.
It's been such an interesting game in the fact that a lot of the aggression and the pulls have been coming out of KS7, but they've just been not able to stop that overextension that's been coming in from Fnatic. They've managed to make these goal line stands, and now they have a chance to maybe put that right in these last few moments. Cal has that flag in his hand, and KS7 with 23 seconds left, maybe have a chance to cap, but they have to deal with Nounsy, and they do.
Look at the dynamite there from Salva. Huge dynamite coming in. That will get the flag stop. They're going to get the three. Well. They're going to get three.
They're going to get the three. And Cal
what
is going to run this one home with just a few seconds left. They will get that flag home, and we are tied up at 3-3.
They cannot believe it. They absolutely cannot believe it on the side of Fnatic. Unbelievable run. Salva with the dynamite and a follow-up kill as well. They will get the return as Cal is running the flag back. It is unbelievably timed from KS7.
Finally, KS7, you would say, on their flag run, managed to kill the overextenders from Fnatic, managed to shut them down, eliminate them, send them back to respawn. Yeah, which is where Fnatic had most of their success, not just in stopping flags, but in countercapping.
We are in overtime. The next flag will win, and you have to wonder, in terms of momentum, in terms of mentality, is that the dagger that will take down Fnatic? Next flag will win.
We're going to see another slow start here, except versus Cal. Nounty having to burn his bubble. Rechows here onto Salva. Beautiful shots coming in from him. A little bit of assistance coming in from a teammate to make that a little bit more comfortable. But all of a sudden, you could feel the nerves in this game, right? I mean, it was kind of high octane. Flags being pulled on both sides. Counter caps flying in. 10 seconds left. Flags being capped. But now, you know that these players understand their tournaments. Situations are on the line here. Fnatic, a little bit on the back foot here, but trying to survive. They've got to deal with Cal, and they can't deal with Cal because he's going to find two.
Cal picks up two, and Kiri picks up another one as well. Should be a pull for both sides. Sizz takes down, though. Sizz gets taken down. He was the overextender. Cal's bringing this flag home.
They get the return. They cut the mid-map as well, and with 10 seconds left, it was KS7 who tied this game up, and now they're going to be able to close things out here as they put the flag home. Overtime is what they needed. And overtime is where they win it. It will be KS7. He'll close out the series with a huge win here on Panther CTF.
They take the flag home, and they also send Fnatic home in doing so. What a way to win it. Scoring their flag, you could just tell Ager's there. Throws his head back and cannot believe that they are headed home on day number 2 of 4 of this tournament. Disbelief on the side of Fnatic with 9 seconds left. Somehow KS7 forces overtime. And like I said, Mark, you and I have seen it too many times as the two teams exchange handshakes. If you let a flag like that go heading into overtime, it might be trouble. You might find yourself tough to bounce back when you let a flag like that force OT in a game you thought you had won. That will be not only the end of the game, the end of the series, but also the end of the tournament life for the side of Fnatic. And the Middle Eastern hometown heroes, KS7, will advance.
And the crowd love it as well. I will say, by the way, and I'm sure you will agree with me on this, I love me some Panther CTF, Andy. What a game that was. I think that was the most entertaining game we've seen so far this tournament.
I think absolutely, especially of the games that you and I have casted, that was the best main stage match that we've seen, down to the absolute wire. Let's take a look here at the reaction. Coming in from some highlights there. You also see Gandhi, the coach of Fnatic. If I'm not mistaken, that was exactly after he got told he could no longer take his break. I'm pretty sure I remember that moment. And you could just tell the intensity on both sides of the stage. Fnatic cannot believe it, and KS7, if you told them from the bottom of the group, there's Agers there. Once again, as we said, in disbelief from the result, and smiles on the face of KS7. They've done it. They have advanced here, and they will send Fnatic home.
How many games have we seen so far in this tournament that have all gone down to the wire? We'll have to see if we're going to see some more of those as we head through our tournament. Let's jump down to the main stage, though. Let's hear